Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Today we're going to be breaking down one of the most perfectly constructed comedies of errors you will ever see. Seriously, it's a masterful piece of situational comedy where a completely innocent, everyday mishap just spirals into this wildly escalating chain of misunderstandings. By the time we're done here, you're going to see exactly how a simple morning routine turns into a high-stakes, hilarious crisis. If you're someone who loves seeing how one tiny little domino can topple a massive structure, well, you are in for an absolute treat today. Let's dive right in. So, just take a second to appreciate the sheer irony of this quote. "We must go to the police station to teach this goon a lesson." Now, who exactly is speaking here? That's Babuji, right? A man known for his strong morals and his righteous anger. And who, you might ask, is this dangerous goon he's so fiercely determined to put behind bars? Actually, it's his very own son. Yep, the hardworking businessman, Jethalal. I want you to hold on to that thought. How on earth does a simple, harmless mistake involving a household washing machine end up with Jethalal being hunted down by his own father as an extortionist street thug? It's brilliant. You see, this disaster didn't just happen out of nowhere. It was a meticulously timed sequence of absolutely terrible luck for Jethalal. I mean, look at this timeline. At 9 a.m. sharp, his mobile phone is completely destroyed in a washing machine. By 10 a.m., out of sheer desperation, he borrows a friend's phone and accidentally makes a massive financial error. And by 11:30 a.m., well, he finally manages to buy a brand new replacement phone, only to have it completely smashed to pieces at a zebra crossing just moments later. It's rough. So let's see how this whole disaster builds, starting right at the beginning at 9 a.m. Okay, domino number one. Jethalal casually tosses his phone onto a pile of dirty clothes while he's putting on his shoes. We've all done something like that, right? Well, enter his wife, Daya. Her logic is totally flawless, but in this case, completely fatal. Dirty clothes go in the wash. So she innocently scoops up the pile, phone included, of course, and tosses the whole shebang straight into the washing machine. By the time Jethalal even realizes his phone is missing, it's already taking a nice soapy spin cycle. When Daya finally pulls it out, the device is completely waterlogged. The phone is dead, and just like that, Jethalal is instantly disconnected from the entire world. Now he's stranded without a phone, so Jethalal does what anyone would do. He borrows one. He asks his frugal neighbor Popatlal for his phone, just to call the shop. And he tries to do this nice little gesture, right? He authorizes a 5 rupee recharge for Popatlal to say thanks. But he accidentally recharges it for a massive 500 rupees instead. Popatlal is so flustered by this crazy extravagant gift that he absolutely insists on paying Jethalal back with 10 post-dated 50-rupee checks. It's a hilarious little distraction, but honestly, Jethalal's real problems are only just getting started. Because, losing a phone isn't just about the physical hardware anymore. It's about the data. Moments later, Jethalal runs into Babita, and she urgently needs an insurance contact. Jethalal happily agrees to help her out, only to realize with absolute horror that the contact's number was saved on the exact phone that just drowned in the laundry. He has zero backups. Babita is clearly disappointed, which forces Jethalal into a frantic, panicked rush to the electronics market. He can't wait around, he's got to buy a brand new phone and a new SIM card immediately, literally just to retrieve this one number for her. And of course, this little laundry mistake leads to a totally unexpected financial hit. Jethalal finally gets to his shop, where his manager Natu Kaka immediately pitches him this ultra-premium 32,000 rupee phone. Jethalal flat-out refuses. Then Natu Kaka swings the other way and offers a super basic 9,000 rupee model, which Jethalal also rejects. They finally settle in the middle on a solid, respectable device for 16,000 rupees. I mean, that is a significant chunk of change, all because of some dirty laundry. But anyway, he gets his new SIM, texts Babita the number, and finally takes a deep breath. What could possibly go wrong now, right? Well, that brings us to the real inciting incident for the absolute chaos that follows. Jethalal is walking back to his shop, carefully crossing the street at a zebra crossing. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a boy on a speeding bike tears down the street and crashes right into him. Now, thankfully, Jethalal is physically unharmed. But that shiny, brand new 16,000 rupee phone he bought exactly 20 minutes ago, it flies right out of his hand and is completely smashed to pieces on the hard pavement. That is 2 perfectly good, completely dead phones in a single morning. Jethalal is rightfully furious, but the reckless biker, this kid named Ronak, just empties his pockets to show he has absolutely zero money to pay for the damages. So, Jethalal's strict business mind instantly kicks in. There is absolutely no way he's letting this reckless kid off the hook. He spots a passport sitting in the boy's bag, and despite Ronak practically begging and saying he needs it for a London visa, Jethalal issues a very firm ultimatum. He confiscates the passport as collateral. The terms are crystal clear. Bring 15,000 rupees in cash to cover the destroyed phone tomorrow at 10 a.m., and you get the passport back. If not, no passport. Jethalal walks away feeling completely justified, genuinely thinking he's just taught a reckless kid a really valuable life lesson. Okay, let's pause Jethalal's terrible luck for a second because there's a really hilarious contrast happening back at his shop. His employee, Bhaga, executes an absolute masterstroke of business negotiation to collect a delayed 40,000 rupee payment. When the client's manager tries to stall, Bhaga plays it cool. He simply accepts the delay, but then he falsely drops a hint that Jethalal was planning to buy 2 lakhs worth of jewelry on credit from them. Panicking at the mere thought of a massive new credit request, the client immediately hands over the $40,000 in pure cash right then and there just to clear their accounts. It's a total genius trick, and it beautifully contrasts with Jethalal's totally miserable morning. Meanwhile, over in a local park, the different threads of this story start tying into an explosive knot. Jethalal's father, Bapuji, is hanging out with his young old friends group. One of his elderly friends, Bansi, is desperately trying to scrape together 15,000 rupees for an emergency. Being the incredibly generous and righteous guy that he is, Bapuji immediately steps up and promises to lend Bansi the money, no questions asked. And right at that heartwarming moment, Bansi's grandson arrives at the park, looking absolutely distressed and completely panicked. And guess who the grandson is? Yep, it's Ronak, the exact same speeding biker who literally just smashed Jethalal's brand new phone. So the entire story hinges on this one piece of hilarious dramatic irony. Let's look at the facts. The real truth: Ronak drove recklessly, hit Jethalal on a zebra crossing, broke the guy's phone, and rightfully lost his passport as collateral. But he is terrified of his grandfather finding out he was driving so dangerously. So Ronak spins this wild, elaborate lie. He claims a vicious goon intentionally crashed into him at 40 kilometers an hour, deliberately smashed his own phone on the ground, and then violently stole Ronak's passport just to extort 15,000 rupees. I mean, he totally flips the narrative, painting himself as the helpless, innocent victim of an organized street gang. And guys, Ronak's lie is an utter disaster because Bapuji, who is a man of unshakable high morals and strict justice, completely buys the story hook, line, and sinker. He is absolutely outraged on behalf of this young man. He drops this incredibly passionate line: "Today, if we give money to those goons, their courage will only increase." Bapuji absolutely refuses to let his friend pay a ransom to some common street thug. He declares that instead of handing over the 15,000 rupees, they are going straight to the police station right now to physically trap this dangerous, extortionist criminal. Just imagine the sheer, unspoken terror that washes over Ronak's face at that moment. He literally just wanted to get his grandfather to pay the 15,000 rupees quietly so he could get his passport back. But his lie has wildly, catastrophically backfired. Because of Bapuji's righteous crusade for justice, Ronak is now being dragged, literally dragged, to the police station to file a completely fake police report. If the police investigate this, not only will his massive lie be exposed to his family, but his London visa and his entire career are going to be in serious legal jeopardy. He has inadvertently trapped himself in an inescapable web, all because he just wouldn't admit he sped through a crosswalk. And that brings us to the ultimate, incredibly tense setup that makes this such a masterful piece of comedy. On one hand, we have Bapuji marching militantly to the police station, absolutely determined to arrest a vicious passport-stealing goon. And on the exact other side of town, we have Jethalal sitting in his shop, proudly holding onto that passport, feeling like a highly responsible citizen just waiting for a reckless kid to come pay up. So, I have to leave you with this provocative question. What is going to happen when the police inevitably arrange a sting operation and Bapuji realizes the ruthless street thug he's trying to throw in jail is his own son, Jethalal? It's a comedic collision of epic proportions just waiting to detonate. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and we'll see you next time.